What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca. Today's video is going to be a little different, but I want to apologize for the lighting in advance too, because I can't do anything about that. But anyway, this video is going to be things I wish I knew / did before I got married and had kids. That doesn't mean I regret getting married and having kids. That's not what I'm saying in this video. It's just some things that I've learned over the years that I'm like, that's interesting. So that's what today's video is going to be. Like always, if you're not subscribed, make sure you do that. Click the bell so you get notified when I upload, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy. Okay, so little backstory. My husband and I met in 2012. I'll put us over here, 2012, and then we did not date till 2013. And then we got married in May 9th, 2015. And I was 23 and he was almost 26. And then I got pregnant with our first child 7 months after we got married. And then 18 months later, I got pregnant with our daughter. So we were married right away. Baby number 1, 18 months later, baby number 2. So we jumped right into building a family. So we are in love. Like I said, we were married to 2015, so we have been married 5 years this past May, and it's been great. Okay, so one of the things I wish that we did a little more of before we got married was got out of the house more and like went on dates. That kind of goes along with before we had kids, but we were homebodies. Like my husband was more homebody than I am, but we would go bowling a couple times, but we never did like date nights. Not very often. It was like anniversaries and stuff, and I think back now, I'm like, why didn't we like go to dinner all the time and like do ice skating or like random fun things? We just hung out at home, which is fine. We were both like, that's fine, but like nothing back. I'm like, we had so much freedom then, and we were just home all the time. I wish we would have done more fun stuff, like gone out with friends more, and like I said, did bowling or anything, like went to movies. But I don't think we've ever gone to a movie together, maybe once. So I wish we did more stuff like that, and I wish we traveled more. We went on trips with like family and stuff, but we never like went to Chicago for the day or like anything like that. So I wish we would have done that more. I wish we would have. I love Nashville. A trip to Nashville would have been so fun. But yeah, just like stuff like that. I wish we would have just done more activities together, just the two of us, and like enjoyed that time of being just the two of us before we had kids. And like before we got married and like combined all our finances and like all that stuff. Like I wish we did that, and we didn't. Another thing I wish I knew before I got married is my husband's love language. I wish I knew his love language before we got married, because we had talked about it a little bit, but it was never like, we never took like the quiz or like really got like a deep conversation about how we felt loved. Like we never did that. People probably told us we should have, and we just ignored that wisdom at that time, which was really dumb. But like now I know his love languages are words of affirmation and physical touch. Like you tell him he's wonderful, he's fine. Mine are quality time and physical touch. So if you spend time with me and sit on the couch with me and watch a movie, I'm happy as a clam. So I know those now, but I just wish we would have had that conversation, because a lot of like the first few years of being married, it was a lot of miscommunication because we didn't know that the other person needed to be loved in that way. I didn't know that he needed to be told, I appreciate you cleaning up the kitchen. I didn't know that. I was just like, oh, sweet, he did the dishes. Like, it wasn't, I wish I knew that. And that kind of goes hand in hand with another one. I wish I knew, or I wish we had talked about our expectations for each other and like our roles that we thought we had in the relationship. Meaning like who's going to do the finances, who's going to do grocery shopping, who's going to clean most of the time, who's going to like just talked about that kind of thing, because then we're both understanding what the other person is hoping for or wishing for in the relationship, and we just never really talked about that. And like expectations, like, is he expecting dinner every night? Am I expecting him to be cooking dinner? Like, just even like those little things, because the little things add up. They add up. And if one person is always doing the dishes and the other person is expecting the other person to help and they're not, it gets me heated. But so we've learned over the years what our expectations are for each other and what our roles are, and we have a routine down, and we're doing well so far. Not to say that that's not gonna change or anything, but we know each other's love languages. We know what our expectations are in a relationship, and we try to spend more time with each other and put our phones down and just watch a movie, and it's really nice when all that stuff is aligned. I think the main thing that I wish I did before I got married and had kids was thought about what I wanted for myself, other than being a wife and a mom. I know I always wanted to be married and I wanted kids. I actually was one of those weird people that wanted twins. I don't know what I was thinking at that time in my life when I wanted twins, but no. But I wish I would have thought about like what were my dreams and what did I want, other than being a wife and a mom. I wish I would have thought about like career more, what I'm passionate about, and I wish I would have like followed those dreams that I had. Like, I always wanted to go to Nashville and like be a singer. I used to, I still kind of do. I'm picking up again, but play guitar and write music and stuff like that. And I always wanted to go to Nashville, and I had that dream, and I was doing it for a while. I would write music and that kind of stuff, and it was really fun for me. And I just, over the years, I kind of just let that go. And I'm like, why did I do that? Like, why didn't I go after that dream that I had, that I talked about since I was like 7? And I never did that. And I wish I would have done that and stuck with that, because I can't imagine where I'd be now if I actually pursued that dream like I always wanted to. And even if it wasn't like being like a singer, but just like writing music, I love writing music, and I still do. And I wish I would have done that and gone after that. But I think I just pushed that aside once I met my husband, and even before that, and never really thought about like what I wanted my life to look like besides having kids and besides getting married. Because like my mom always says, your kids are going to grow up and they're going to move away, and you have to do something with your life. You need hobbies. So I just wish I would have thought about that a little more and got that moving back then and established back then before I got married and like settled down, because I could have had that established and then got married and had the season of my life marriage and then picked that back up, or like continued it the whole way. But I just didn't. I don't know. I was just like, I think part of young and like immature and just didn't think full ahead. And now I'm completely opposite, where I'm like, what's happening after this, after this, after this, because I cannot handle not knowing what's going on. I just wish I knew that. Moving on. So, things I wish I did before I had kids is I never worked full time. I always had part-time jobs or like 2 part-time jobs. So I never worked like one job 40 hours a week with benefits, like worked a full-time big kid job. I never did that. I've never have. And I really wish I would have done that, because I would have made more money and been able to save more money, which is another thing I wish I would have done. We would have done is save more money. We're actually working on that right now, like getting out of debt, that whole thing. And I really wish that before the kids came and all the expenses came, that we would have focused a little more on that, and saved more money, had like a set budget. We didn't have a budget when we got married. We just kind of paid our bills, and that was that. Like, we never had a savings system or anything like that. So I wish we would have done that. Save more money for sure. Had a financial plan. And I wish I would have worked full time, because that would have been, we've been way better off when we started having kids. Granted, we did have our first child. I got pregnant 7 months after we got married, but we still would have had that time. I worked up until 2 weeks before I gave birth, so we would have had quite a bit of time for me to work full time. And even when we were dating, I didn't. So yeah, I just wish I would have worked full time, because that would have been a very good move on my part, but I didn't. And I still work now with our kids. I work second shift, my husband works first, so it works out well with our schedule now. But one day I want to have a big kid job, working full time, doing something that I love. So mark my words. Okay, if you are one of my close friends in real life, not in YouTube world, you know this about us, but I have always wanted to live like Nashville or somewhere in Tennessee. My husband wants to live in like Montana. I would live in Colorado. We just want to live somewhere like that. And so I wish we did that before we had kids, at least for just like a year, and just live somewhere else, and even like moved a little bit, like live somewhere 6 months, move again, like just to experience different places. I really wish we would have done that. We've actually talked about now about moving, but now I just feel like we're so established here. We're like grounded. Our families are here. I don't know. It's in my head. Like, should we move? When should we move? I don't know. I just wanted to see and live other places. Colorado or Tennessee are my top two. One of those places you might see me in. But I wish we would have done that. Raise your hand if you're a mom and you have 0 space to yourself. Your personal bubble does not exist. The struggle is real. You can't even go to the bathroom alone. You can't get a snack without them wanting a snack. You can't sit on the couch without one right here and one right here. I wish I would have enjoyed my space. I wish I would have enjoyed my bed. I wish I just would have realized that before I had kids, that they have no sense of personal space. They follow you everywhere. It's like a little shadow that never goes away. They're so freaking cute though. But if they would just give me 1 minute to myself, just one little area of the couch to myself, my own thing of popcorn without their little paws in there. So enjoy your space if you have no kids, because once you have a child, no personal space. Nothing is just yours. You share everything. Enjoy your time now. So I wish we would have talked about our parenting styles a little more before we had kids. Ours are pretty similar, but I would say that I'm more the pushover parent until I'm like at the point of like being really frustrated, and then I'm like, everybody's done. Like, this is what's happening. This is what's happening. No explanations necessary. Like, until I get to that point, I'm pretty much like, sure, honey, that's fine. That's fine. My husband, on the other hand, is more the voice of reason, more the they need to finish their food before they get a fruit snack, that kind of thing. He's more the enforcer. I'm more, it's fine kind of parent. So I wish we would have had the conversation of like, what do you think we should parent like, or how should we parent? I wish we talked about that a little bit more. So that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I could probably do a part 2, so let me know if you want me to do that. And also let me know in the comments some things you wish you knew or did before you got married and had kids. I would love to know. Pass on the knowledge. As always, don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.